Hi, hello, and welcome to an interesting session on analog and digital communication. Communication means conveying information. Communication begins when someone wants to convey information to someone else. This information must be presented as some kind of pattern. For example, person's speech, talking, the news telecast on TV, the songs broadcast on the radio, persons conveying over mobile, everything is information that is to be communicated. So here in this session, we'll see some basics of communication and modulation. So let's get started. You can see the people are very close to each other. So in such case, they can communicate by simply talking. If they are a bit far away from each other, they can shout by raising their voice or using the speaker. Now when the person is very far, we cannot shout or just speak in a low voice because the other person will not be able to hear anything. So in such cases, a means of communication has to be used. So this is the basic block diagram of a communication system. We have the information source, input transducer, transmitter, channel, noise, receiver, and the output transducer. So the information source is the person who is speaking, and his speech is the information. He is the source, and whatever he is speaking, that is the information that is to be transmitted. Example of an input transducer is the microphone. In the transmitter, the input transducer converts the physical form of information into electrical form. Unless the information is in electrical form, it cannot be transmitted. Then we have the channel. So for example, in radio or TV broadcasting, the channel is simply air or free space. The transmitting station just transmits the signals into free space, and the receiver is the radio which we have in our hands or mobile, where we listen to the songs or the news. Now here an important point is that there is presence of noise. So always the noise contaminates the signal in the channel only. Then we have the output transducer. So the receiver output is in electrical form, so which has to be converted back into physical form. So example of an output transducer is the loudspeaker. So this is the basic block diagram of communication system. You can see the concept of modulation. Here we have the message signal or the modulating signal, which is of very low frequency. Then we have a high frequency carrier signal. So both of these two signals are superimposed upon each other to get the various forms of modulation techniques such as amplitude modulation, frequency modulation, and phase modulation. We'll see what is the need for modulation and what happens if there is no modulation done. So the first and foremost point is the height of the antenna. Here you can see the first case where the frequency is very low, that is 15 kilohertz, and if the wavelength is 20 kilometers. So this is the formula to calculate the height of the antenna. H is equal to lambda by 4. So 20 divided by 4 is 5 kilometers. So building an antenna of height 5 kilometers is practically impossible. Now when the signal is modulated, its frequency is increased. You can see the frequency is 1 megahertz, which is very large. And if the lambda or the wavelength is 300 meters, now we use the same formula to calculate the height of the antenna. So H is equal to 300 by 4. So this is equal to 75 meters. So practically this height of antenna can be built. So this is one of the need for modulation. You can see the second point is transmission can be done over longer distances. So here you can see the radio station or the TV station, the person who is speaking from here, she is just talking over here, and it is transmitted by using the transmitting antenna. And the girl who is sitting here, she is just listening to the radio by tuning into that particular frequency. She is having a receiver, so the same can be heard through the receiving antenna. So when modulation is done, transmission can be done over longer distances, because here the radio or TV station is not closer to your home. It is located some kilometers far away from your home. So everybody is able to listen if they are able to tune to the particular frequency. Third point is inter-signal interference. Suppose many transmitting stations and antennas are present. So whenever everybody is transmitting simultaneously, the signals, if they are of the same frequency or very low frequency, they get mixed up and this gives rise to noise. So this is another point why we need to modulate the signal. Another point is wired transmission can be replaced by wireless transmission. So just imagine the world full of wires. If there was no wireless communication or wireless transmission, how clumsy it would look like. So that's the beauty of electromagnetic waves. They can be just transmitted into free space, and the receiving antenna just picks up these signals where we can listen or watch the signals, like in radio or TV. So these are some of the points why we need to modulate the signal. So these are the types of modulation. We have analog modulation techniques and digital modulation techniques. Under analog modulation, we have amplitude modulation, frequency modulation and phase modulation. Under digital modulation, we have amplitude shift keying, frequency shift keying and phase shift keying. So this is the concept of amplitude modulation. So everywhere the message signal is of very low frequency. This is the message signal which has to be conveyed to the receiver. Then we have a carrier signal which is of very high frequency. Both of these two signals are superimposed upon each other. This gives rise to the amplitude modulated signal. So how we get this wave means just add up the amplitudes of the carrier and the corresponding message signal or the modulating signal to get this shape of the waveform. So in amplitude modulation, you can see the frequency of the carrier is almost same as in the original carrier. The phase is also the same. The only change is in the amplitude. Hence, this is known as amplitude modulated signal. So this is frequency modulation. Here also we use the same message signal, which is a very low frequency signal, and the carrier which is of very high frequency. So wherever the input signal or the message signal is having very high amplitude, we get high frequency in the frequency modulated signal. If it is of very low amplitude, the frequency is very less. So in frequency modulation, the amplitude of the signal is constant, the phase of the signal is constant. Only change is in the frequency. Hence it is the frequency modulation technique. This is the phase modulation. So in phase modulation, wherever the signal is changing or crossing the zero value, there will be change in the phase. So this is the modulating signal or the message signal. So if it is changing from between negative to positive, you can see this part, this is known as zero crossing. At all zero crossings, there will be a corresponding change in the phase. This is the original carrier or a high frequency signal. So in the phase modulated signal, we can see the change in the phase. The amplitude is constant and the frequency is also constant. So this is one of the digital modulation technique, that is amplitude shift keying. So in digital modulation technique, the input is not continuous in form, it is in the digital form. So here you can see the binary input sequence which is in the form of ones and zeros. So this is done by using a technique known as sampling and quantization. So an analog signal or a sinusoidal signal can be converted into binary sequence of ones and zeros by using the sampling and quantization technique. So the input in a digital modulation is a binary sequence of ones and zeros, which is the required message signal. The carrier signal is the same, which is a high frequency sine wave or a cosine wave. So to get this amplitude shift keying output, both of these two signals are simply multiplied. You can see the value, it is 1 here. This 1 is multiplied with this high frequency carrier. So we get the same waveform during this part. Now during this 0, when you multiply this 0 with this part of the signal, there is no output. So you can see a 0 here. Similarly, this from here till here it is 1, which is multiplied by this high frequency sine wave. We get the same sine wave. During this part it is 0, so the output is equal to 0. Here it is 1, so we get the same sine wave. Here it is 0, so no output. From here till here it is the same sine wave. So this signal is known as amplitude shift keying signal. Now you can see it is going from on off. So the other name for amplitude shift keying is on off keying signal. So this is another digital modulation technique, that is frequency shift keying. If the input is a logic 1, then we get the high frequency. If the input is a logic 0, then we get a low frequency. So logic 1 is the binary sequence of 1 and logic 0 is 0. So for 1s the frequency is increased, for 0s the frequency is decreased. This is the concept of frequency shift keying. So this is phase shift keying. In phase shift keying, we have the same binary input signal of 1s and 0s, the same carrier of which is a very high frequency sinusoidal or cosine wave. So this is the phase shift key signal. Wherever the bit 1 is changing to 0, you can see this part, there is a corresponding shift in the phase of 180 degrees or pi radians. So here also 0 is changing to 1. So here we have a change in the phase of 180 degrees. Here 1 is changing to 0. So here also there is change in the phase. So this is the phase shift keying technique. So these are the digital and analog modulation techniques. That's it. I hope I am clear. Thank you.